good, some rosy.
I love you, Triple H.
Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm
Happy
that
birthday,
damn
Randy.
good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, something rosy.
Hello, Jeff Hardy, the charismatic enigma here, and you are watching the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast.
Because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Big O, I am turning. Big O, what I'm burning. Big O. Yeah, yo, ladies and gentlemen, thieves and crooks alike, content stealers and creators. Welcome to the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast, hosted by the illustrious, your role model, the blueprint. I am Dame Don. Happy New Year, everybody. I have been MIA, missing in action for quite some time. I'm back for real this time, I promise, depending on the views. I'm not gonna lie. You put so much work in, and then my last podcast, I think it has like fucking 8 views. So the views will determine my backness, but I do want to say Happy New Year. It is officially WrestleMania season. We are on the, I was going to say on the heels of the Royal Rumble, but we're not on the heels of the Royal Rumble because it's not here yet. But we're on the cusp of the Royal Rumble. I was trying to think of the word. We're on the cusp of the Royal Rumble, which means we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. There is a lot to discuss with the podcast overall. The Queen is injured. Seth is injured. Dolph Ziggler debuted in TNA. Trinity is leaving TNA. Dana Brooke is in TNA. Fucking CM Punk is back after fucking 9-10 years. And on top of all of that, a storm is coming. A storm is on the way. Are y'all ready for the fucking storm? A storm is coming. So we definitely do have a lot to cover with the podcast, the Wrestling Weekly Report. But as of right now, we are just doing Royal Rumble predictions. I am recording this before SmackDown, obviously, because it dropped before SmackDown. So they haven't announced anything, and hopefully they don't. I'm kind of hoping they put the tag title match at the Royal Rumble, but I'll explain why I feel like they didn't. But we are just going to jump right in, and we are going to start with the men's Royal Rumble. I feel like both Royal Rumbles this year have a very exciting, very unpredictable feel. I feel like there is a lot of different moving parts in these Rumbles. There's a lot of potential returns. Legends are always in question as to who will come back and if they've signed a deal or, whatever. CM Punk is returning in the Royal Rumble almost 10 years to the day when he walked out from the WWE. I believe he's like 1 day shy of the official 10-year mark. I really didn't put it together that he's coming back in the same match that he walked out of until I believe it was Michael Cole said it on Raw. And then I was like, oh shit, he is kind of returning in the same way that he left. So it is kind of poetic that they're not rushing him and having him in matches just straight off the bat. I do understand that they had him wrestle in Madison Square Garden, but that's Madison Square Garden, so that doesn't really count. I really like for Royal Rumbles to have like fresh faces, the winners. I really like this to be an opportunity to make new stars. I don't want to see Cody win the Royal Rumble back to back. I don't want to see somebody that's won the Royal Rumble 3 years ago win the Royal Rumble again. I like them to use this opportunity to make new stars. Kind of like they did with Money in the Bank with Damian Priest. Somebody that you don't really expect, but somebody that it can catapult to the next level that really needs it. So, or if you've just never won a Royal Rumble. I wouldn't mind seeing Punk winning because he's never won a Royal Rumble. I just like new faces to be put in those positions. I don't like repetitive winners. I do think that there's a lot of potential returns for the men's Royal Rumble match and the women's. Of course, we always have legends. It'll be interesting to see if we have Booker T come out of retirement from NXT and do a spot. He usually does something in the Rumble. I definitely am looking forward to possibly seeing Sheamus come back. Maybe Bad Bunny makes an appearance. Does The Rock versus Roman start at the Royal Rumble? We also have the possibility of fucking Brock Lesnar, who nobody's talking about. Omis, who nobody's talking about. Sami Zayn, who nobody's talking about. And also Big E. I know Big E just came out and recently said that he has not been cleared, but Big E has been rather active lately. I've seen him in the gym, not personally seen him, but I've seen him on social media in the gym. He did just kind of have a reunion with the New Day on the bump, so they are kind of keeping the New Day Big E name alive, which is really good. I just kind of feel like we may possibly see Big E. I think they may be kind of keeping that very, very under wraps, but we would just have to see. I would definitely be really looking forward to seeing some NXT talent in the Royal Rumble as well. I would love to hear the entire arena singing Whoop That Trick. I kind of don't want Trick in the Royal Rumble though, because he's already number one contender for the NXT Championship. But I would absolutely love to hear the entire stadium singing Whoop That Trick. I'm also a really big fan of Noam Dar. I wouldn't mind seeing Noam Dar in the Royal Rumble, maybe accompanied by the Metaphor. I definitely see Imperium and New Day doing some spots in the Royal Rumble. I know Kofi usually does Kofi usually does the thing where he saved every Royal Rumble match, so he kind of has somebody save him or whatever. I definitely feel like Imperium is going to mess up that spot this year on purpose, obviously. I definitely feel like Imperium is going to make sure that Cody does not have his Royal Rumble moment and that he is definitely eliminated for sure. Also hoping to see an interaction with Jimmy and Jay, or also Jay and Solo. I'm hoping for some type of Jay versus Bloodline interaction within the Royal Rumble. They could definitely have a lot of different moving parts in this. They could maybe have this be where Jay shows his loyalty to Drew McIntyre, that he's no longer with the Royal Rumble. I mean, they could have Jimmy and Solo in the ring, and they could just have competitor after competitor that they fucked over come out. They could have they could have Jay. Then they could have Drew McIntyre. Then they could have Kevin Owens. Then they could have Sami Zayn. I mean, and then you would essentially have all these people that the Bloodline have screwed over, and that could almost kind of be where Jay earns his trust from Drew McIntyre. Even though I don't think Drew McIntyre even wants his fucking trust. I think Drew just is kind of like, fuck everybody, give me the title. Which he should be. I definitely feel like Drew deserves to have a world championship run in front of people. He did have that world championship match, but literally nobody was there, and that is his biggest issue, that nobody was there during his whole run. Won the Royal Rumble. Maybe Drew would be my one exception to the rule. In regards to a secondary winner or having a winner that's already won. Drew would maybe be my only exception, because when he won the Royal Rumble, he won it in front of people, and then he main evented WrestleMania in front of absolutely nobody. So Drew would maybe be my only exception for a repeat winner. In regards to my picks for the winner, I do have my picks as being CM Punk, The Rock, or somebody returning. I feel like we could possibly see a return winner here. I definitely feel like Triple H really likes giving us those winners that nobody's talking about, nobody's thinking about, nobody has in the running. I mean, look at Damian Priest and the Money in the Bank. Literally nobody was talking about Damian Priest winning, and Damian Priest won. So I definitely could see them doing something similar to that with the Royal Rumble as well. Next up, we have Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. Now, while I am over Logan Paul's United States title run, while I do feel like Logan being the United States champion does give the WWE a lot of great exposure, especially on his podcast with the thousands of views he has and the title just kind of sits there on the table. I think Logan Paul brings a lot of eyes to the company, brings a lot of maybe legitimacy to the WWE. But I personally am over his title reign. I definitely feel like SmackDown already has a part-time champion in Roman Reigns. Not taking anything away from Roman, but SmackDown already has a part-time champion in Roman. So now their secondary championship is now also semi-part-time, because Logan is there every week, but he's kind of not there every week. If he's not doing anything, he's not there. So I definitely am over Logan Paul's title reign, but I don't think that Kevin Owens is the one to take the title from Logan Paul. I definitely have Logan Paul winning. Hopefully Logan Paul eventually loses to Santos Escobar. I would definitely love to see Santos get that United States Championship alongside Angel and Humberto, and kind of smear that in the face of LWO. But I definitely have Logan Paul winning this match, even though I am over the title reign overall. The next match I want to go over here is the men's Fatal 4-Way match with AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and LA Knight. Now, this match has a lot of moving parts. There's at least 2 or 3 stories in this match if you really, really pay attention. The Bloodline took out Randy, so now Randy wants revenge. The Bloodline then took out AJ Styles, so AJ Styles wants revenge on the Bloodline. But LA Knight didn't help AJ Styles, so he also wants revenge on LA Knight. And LA Knight is just in the match because he lost to Roman due to the Bloodline. So essentially, LA Knight honestly has the most to gain in this match, and Roman has the most to lose. LA Knight has never been a world champion. He's never really been in like a high profile match of this magnitude with all these stars in the WWE. He did have his one-on-one match with Roman, but now you're adding Randy Orton and you're adding AJ Styles, and these are absolute mega stars. LA Knight absolutely has the most to gain in this match. Roman Reigns obviously has the most to lose in this match. However, he won't lose in this match. This match is no disqualification, so you can definitely expect Solo and Jimmy at some point, because there are no rules in Fatal 4-Way matches. So you can 100% expect Solo and Jimmy at some point. I'm really hoping that the OC come out to help AJ, even though AJ has kind of been like, not really fuck the OC, but he just doesn't want to be bothered. I think he just kind of has more so tunnel vision. But I definitely hope that the OC come out and help AJ Styles in this Fatal 4-Way match. It is definitely time to also inject the OC into the tag team division, but that is a different story. We'll talk about that more on the Wrestling Weekly report later, well, next week. But as I stated, Roman does have the most to lose in this match. However, I do not see him losing. Roman Reigns will definitely take the W in this match. I believe Roman is only 1,200 days or something like that as World Heavyweight Champion. It was reported that he was supposed to break Hulk Hogan's streak. I did read that if he was supposed to hold the title to break Hogan's streak, he would have to hold the title until mid-September, meaning after WrestleMania. So I don't see how Cody's going to finish the story at WrestleMania. But that's also another story. We can talk about that more on the Wrestling Weekly report as well. But again, Roman Reigns will definitely win this Fatal 4-Way match. Just a little sidebar here. I definitely feel like they could have added the men's and the women's tag title matches to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I feel like they haven't added them to the pay-per-views because they will both groups will be doing things in their respective Royal Rumbles. But I definitely feel like that match would have definitely been great on the pay-per-view. It would have gave Kaden and Katana a pay-per-view spotlight, which they absolutely deserve. They kill it every single time that they are in the ring. They never fail to impress, ever. Ever. I'm very impressed with Kaden and Katana. But yes, I do think they weren't added to the pay-per-view because both groups will be doing things in their respective Royal Rumbles. I do expect Damage Control to finally turn on Bayley in the Royal Rumble at some form. And while we talk about that, let's just go ahead and jump on over to the Women's Royal Rumble. Like I stated, I definitely expect Damage Control to turn on Bayley in some form. I believe we're all pretty much hoping for the debut of Jade Cargill. I definitely see her taking out Nia Jax in the match, even though Nia is one of my picks. I feel like they have been building Nia up so strong, and I definitely feel like they have been building Nia up for Jade to tear her down. And I love Nia Jax. I love Nia Jax. But I think I love Jade more. And I definitely think that Jade will eliminate Nia Jax and maybe set up something for them at WrestleMania. I definitely see Jade going to Monday Night Raw with Cody Rhodes, at least for her first year, to, get her comfortable, things of that nature. So I definitely see her feuding with Nia Jax. If not immediately, almost immediately. Just like the Men's Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble has a lot of potential for returns as well. There is a lot of injured female superstars right now that could possibly return at the Royal Rumble. We could possibly see Liv Morgan return. We could possibly see Raquel and her back return. We could possibly see Sonya Deville. I do know Sonya Deville tore her ACL, and I believe the time frame was between 9 and 12 months, but she's been very silent. And when they go really silent, they're cooking up something, they're planning something. And Sonya has been noticeably silent on social media. We could possibly have the return of AJ Lee, which I would be ecstatic for. I'm not really sure if AJ is in a place of wanting to come back, but judging by her video training for heels, she's definitely more than capable. Definitely is the word of the podcast. And apparently Caitlyn has had gear made, who apparently has a fan base all of a sudden. Not taking anything away from Caitlyn, I just didn't know that she had a following until all of a sudden her gear was quote unquote leaked. So yeah, there's that. And then also, I know Alexa Bliss recently had a baby. How's Alexa Bliss doing? Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, both new moms. How are they doing? It's Carmella. How's Carmella doing? Are we going to see Carmella? Are we going to see some moms in the Royal Rumble? And I think somebody might want to tell Charlotte that she's not able to make the Royal Rumble. Or she might be making the Royal Rumble at this point. Charlotte is training as if she never left. Like, the Queen doesn't take a day off. The Queen doesn't know what it means to rest, and she won't rest. She's making sure that she comes back better than before, and I'm almost certain that Charlotte will be back before the 9-month time frame. She is absolutely killing her workouts. She is absolutely killing it. Her rehab in the gym. She is absolutely putting in the work to make sure that she comes back better than ever, and she's absolutely proving that she is the Iron Woman of WWE during this recovery process. And if you don't think so, you are just a fucking hater. I seen somebody say on Twitter the other day that, while I do feel she is overrated, she has a great work ethic. Doesn't that cancel out her being, or no, she's over pushed, but she has a great work ethic. But doesn't that cancel out her being over pushed if she has a great work ethic? Because wouldn't that mean she's working for what she's getting? Okay, anyway. So my 4 picks for the Royal Rumble, Bayley has actually really been growing on me. Bayley is one of my picks for the Royal Rumble this year. I also feel like they've been kind of telling us without telling us that Bayley is winning. Jade is another one of my picks for obvious reasons. I would definitely love to see Jade win and go right to WrestleMania and challenge Mommy. I don't know if they would do that route. I definitely kind of see them going more of the route of Jade and Nia Jax. And my sleeper pick is Chelsea Green to win the Royal Rumble. Oh, Nia Jax is also one of my picks. But my sleeper pick to win the Royal Rumble is Chelsea Green. Chelsea is somebody that has absolutely killed it since she has returned She has absolutely killed every role that she's been in. And I absolutely think that if Chelsea does not win the Royal Rumble, that she will definitely win the Money in the Bank. And if not win the Money in the Bank, she'll be a real viable contender in the match. Much like the Men's Royal Rumble match, I am hoping that we have a lot of legends into the Women's Royal Rumble. But the talent pool is very deep. Michelle McCool is on Twitter like she is every year, vying for her spot, saying she's never been asked, and you know that gear is already in the closet, made ready. You know it's WrestleMania season when Michelle McCool gets on Twitter and says, "I haven't been asked." That's how you know it's WrestleMania season, when Michelle McCool gets on Twitter and says, "I haven't been asked." It's WrestleMania season. I would love to see Victoria return in the Royal Rumble, Kelly return in the Royal Rumble, and also Trish. Trish has stated that she's, coming back this year. I would definitely love for Trish to come back and kick off her second run. Not her second run, I guess the second part of her second run at the Royal Rumble, so that she's back in time for WrestleMania. I would also love to see some NXT talent in the Royal Rumble as well. I would love to see Lash Legend. I would love to see Tiffany Stratton, Jakira Jackson. I don't want to see Roxanne in the Royal Rumble because, much like Trick, she's already the number one contender for her respective world championship. So I don't want to see her in the Royal Rumble. But I would definitely love to see Lash, Tiffany, if not Tiffany, Fallon. Is Fallon the girl that she's like the assistant for? I believe that is Fallon. I would love to see Fallon, maybe Tiffany get in the Royal Rumble and then Fallon take her spot. Like, "Oh no, I'm taking your spot. You work for me right now." That would be kind of cool and put another layer onto their story as well. But it is WrestleMania season. I'm really excited. I do promise to be more consistent. I feel like I keep saying that every podcast, but the views ain't viewing. So when the views start viewing, I'll start being more consistent. But I also feel like I'm not really consistent enough to complain about my views. So like I'm in between a rock and a hard place, but I definitely have content in the chamber for you all. Velveteen Dream has finally spoke out 3 years later about the allegations that were bestowed on him. I'll definitely be releasing a podcast entitled Velveteen Dream Speaks, just kind of giving my thought on the interview, and it was very, very, very nicely done by Chris. Very nicely done by Chris. So I'll definitely be doing a follow-up on his interview with the Velveteen Dream on my YouTube channel. You can expect that sometime early next week or this weekend. And then we will be back next week for the Wrestling Weekly Report with an update, or a follow-up rather, to the Royal Rumble. I thank you guys so much for listening. Of course, this was the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast, and I am your host, Dang Done. Peace.